Hey guys, Akasan here. It's 4 a.m. right now in the morning, and looking at the video footage of what we did for Loki. I just want to give you guys a heads up that this was the first time that me and DC Sun and I had been back in the studios together with the new layout, with the new format ever since the pandemic. And I tried something with the microphone and we got an overlay. So there's gonna be a weird overlay. Hopefully KR can kind of fix it up. He's better at it than I could in fixing it, but I do apologize. At this moment, it seems like it's almost unfixable, but we can't do the reaction again, obviously. So my apologies about that, and I'll try to get better at it next time. The next time we have two people around, I have an idea of what the problem is. I just didn't even think about it that time. So again, my apologies, and enjoy the video as much as you can.
But then you're out.
Yeah,
Of frame.
What the hell? Hi. Comics Plus, what is going on? My name is Akasan.
What's up? Super Crew. This is on. Good to see you again.
It's been a while.
It has been a good several minutes.
This was unplanned, guys. My apologies for the delay in getting Loki up for you guys today, but I was doing something else, picking up a PlayStation 5, and this dude just came over to drop off something, and I was like, you know what? You want to watch Loki? And he was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
I have not been able to catch up on anything. Loki or what's it, Superman and Lois, and any other good show that's on. It's I did see the first episode of Loki. I was going to talk to you about that another time, but
You can talk about it.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it because different tempo from the other two shows that they had out. I also feels like it's like you've got magic base, then you've got based in reality,
Right.
grounded, and then this seems to be more on the cosmic scale. And I like how they're starting to put those three genres together. So it's still within the same universe but separated.
Right.
So they also feel like the comic book.
Right.
I'm really enjoying it.
Right.
And storytelling is interesting.
And here's something that we were kind of talking about. Like, this is something I was having a discussion with resident nerd of all nerds, Hector Navarro from Heroes Reforged. We were having a conversation about this because something actually, ironically, one of my students brought up was a few days ago, and he stunned me, he kind of quizzed me. I'm like, because he brought up the whole idea of like, look, if let me turn that off just in case. If the Infinity Stones were null and void, and if they're null and void in every other universe or such, how come the Avengers were able to pull the Infinity Stones out of the timeline and then use them in their own timeline, right? And I'm just like, ooh. But I knew what the answer was, because the Infinity Stones are null and void in the TBT. But there is this running theory based on the Marvel comics that Infinity Stones are also useless in other universes as well.
It's almost like they don't sync, like they're on different.
Correct.
It's similar to like some
Japan phones. Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly the same thing. Like, what the hell? This doesn't work in America, right? So I really was thinking this out, and so here's my understanding at this point of the MCU. I'm basing this on MCU rules because a lot of people are basing the whole Infinity Stones not working based on the fact that the Council of Reeds introduced this idea that Infinity Stones don't work in other universes. They have to work in the proper universe, right? And that's what's been introduced in the comic, and that's why people are kind of saying like,
towards that, because that's where they're getting some of the source material from.
Correct.
Doing it that way also keeps you from writing yourself into a circle.
Correct. Here's my potential. Here's my thought process here is that TVA, could exist within the center of the multiverse or the outside of it. It doesn't matter. It's a null and void. It's the dead.
But even if it's in the center, it's still somewhat outside of all those
Correct. So I just put it in the center.
Right.
The timeline they're talking about, the pure timeline, that's the one that they're talking about, and the variants that they're cutting off the branches of anything that goes outside that pure timeline.
Which Cap mentioned in the last movie also.
Correct. Well,
the branches.
Right. You're right. Trim the hedges, cut the branches. Yeah. Right. He mentioned that as well, but I think that
and no one picked up on it then, unless they were really into the comics.
Correct.
Like, that's where it's from, because there wasn't anything at that time to really tie it together.
However, here's my whole theory, because the multiverse in the MCU, the multiverse has been mentioned in Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
We know Doctor Strange something is coming up, and obviously Spider-Man will be dealing with the multiverse a little bit more.
And Scarlet Witch.
And the Scarlet Witch will be dealing with
Scarlet Witch. Even in the MCU, the idea and the concept is that she is able to travel to any of, or be part of any of the multiverse.
So
which is super
what I will say for now is I feel within the MCU we have only seen Scarlet Witch talk about dimensions, which comes in a little importance because there's 3 forms. We're dealing with dimensions, which is Doctor Strange, right? Timelines, and then universes like that. So my thing is the TVA made a pure timeline. However, a pure timeline within one main universe, and there's branch. Not a bad choice of words. Other streams of universe.
Okay.
Universe.
So basically, you're looking at it as like the MCU will say for MCU purposes it's the 616.
Correct. The primary universe. Right.
So anything that happens over here is potentially like saying an alternate universe, or alternate
the multiverse. Yes.
Okay.
And so I believe that in this particular situation, the TVA is overseeing all of that.
Yeah.
But they're only mentioning in the concept of Loki, they're only mentioning this main MCU universe right here in that pure timeline. But there are different timelines that are going on. But the pure one that they're talking about is the one that they're mentioning right now. They're not talking about the other multiverses because
that's not yet.
Correct. Exactly. So that's my theory. But at this moment in time, we don't really have a theory if those Infinity Stones would work from
one to another.
Correct.
I could see them saying that it doesn't because you're dealing with things that they've announced or have hinted at, like Adam Warlock. Okay, so with all this stuff going on, knowing that he could stop Thanos, this is excluding the Externals.
Right.
Altogether, which I have questions for that too. Then okay, is he in a different timeline, or excuse me, a different multiverse at this point of his creation? Or is he still considered with the same one because of
that's an interesting point.
Guardians of the Galaxy being tied to it also, even though dealing with Infinity Stones and having half the universe wiped out, there's that issue.
Correct.
Now backtracking a little bit to Loki, not the Eternals, even though I really want to talk to you about that. With Loki, asking him to track down himself. So going off the last episode, Loki saw what a version of himself did in the future, killing his mom, leading her to her death, and all this kind of stuff, and that really broke his heart. I love the filming for that because it really made you feel for his character. It showed more depth for his character,
absolutely,
and it just made it more interesting storytelling. From that point on, I was like, I want to know more about Loki.
Correct.
But my question is, do you feel like the Loki that's going around killing and picking up stuff, basically killing off other versions of himself, so he could have that ultimate power and become the head of the TVA? Because wanting to be king of Asgard is one thing, but to be in charge of all timelines, things like that. That's power. So do you think that's the motivation of that Loki? And
we're talking about hooded Loki that we saw in Burner.
Because part of me is like, maybe that will be the female version of Loki. Which I'm like, okay, that's fine. I want to see what they do with her character. But with this Loki, do you feel like he is the same Loki that eventually takes his mom out, or he's completely separate from it? And the one that we had in the MCU faces the darker version of him, and he really is just gone.
Yeah, that Loki's done.
Okay.
So
this one is basically from a branch timeline,
correct.
Not from the 616.
Correct.
Okay.
This is by far the Loki that should not exist, but
does. And the only reason they're keeping him is so he can track himself down. And then at the end of that, what? They get rid of him? Because he shouldn't exist.
Correct.
He's an anomaly, right?
Correct.
Now saying it out loud and talking to you about it, I feel really bad.
So you know what?
That's really dark.
Because keep in mind this is when, remember the Flash, that show that used to be good. Shade. So this goes back to when the story was good, when Eobard Thawne. Remember Eobard Thawne was a remnant of himself,
right?
And he was running out of time, and so in some cases,
but for him it was only up until a certain time period. Then after that time period, he ceased to exist because he gets erased. That's why he kept going back.
No. I'm talking about the one that was that Black Flash was after, because the time, and so he said it himself. He has run around time so much that he exists outside of it, like that. So that's kind of what this Loki is. It's like he shouldn't exist, but he does anyways.
But if he has no memories of that, then what? The other version of Loki is the one that's been bouncing in and out of time so much. And what happens to our Loki? See, it's hard saying our Loki is now, because in my mind it's like there's three Lokis. There's the one that died.
Oh, that Loki's done that.
That's 616 Loki. He's gone. Yeah. So our new Loki. He's here. We're supporting whatever. We're going to go through. And then the
variant
Loki, the variant Loki, and then the new Loki. So the new Loki is the one in the hood.
I'm calling it
variant Loki is the one we're dealing with on the show.
Old school Loki, old school Loki is dead. Okay. Current Loki is TV. It's easier just to say he's TV Loki.
Okay.
Loki TV. So this is our main Loki now.
Okay.
Because the other one's dead.
And this new Loki is variant Loki.
Rogue Loki, which in all likelihood by the end of this episode we're going to be calling it She-Loki or female Loki.
I'm sure they'll find some other names.
Right.
Loki.
She's probably just going to be like, I am Loki, destined for glory. Anyways.
Something like that. Sorry. Long conversation.
What an intro, right? Yeah, let's get to the episode. Full reaction is available on Patreon, guys. It's going to be a little bit different on Patreon. In all likelihood, you might have to download it from the website, just because normally I have headphones, but we ain't looking for a splitter right now. So, and you already know the mess that was back in the day. Here we go. DC Sun and Akasan back together again for Loki. Let's go.
Bring it.
Your latest reaction for Loki starts now. The Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, it sounds like it. In comic books a lot.
No.
They go Midwest when they're gonna like blow stuff up. Make new Asgard, all that kind of stuff.
Let's move. Some of us need this.
Sounds like my next trip to San Diego Comic-Con or Comic-Con.
That was a nod to you with the dreads.
I think so. Ooh. Wait. I need a hero, right? Yeah. Short Circuit too. This is the second time I've. Wow.
Oh,
wow.
She didn't even use the stick. She just like snapped his neck.
Efficient.
Efficient. Also, not even the same height as Loki. So yeah, you might.
It's definitely she Loki.
Yeah. Loki.
Sure.
But taking that agent, you think doing that to get information? Like interrogating her?
Maybe. So probably
She
trying to
knows that
take
they
out
give
the
her
TVA. Yeah.
There's been an attack. Let's go.
Loki with a desk job, man.
Right? And it's funny because he seems like
At home with
Vision.
it? Oh, I get it. And we just talked about it with the other guy. Was kind of like that one guy.
We've grabbed enough temporal aura to know it's our Loki variant, but which kind of Loki remains unknown.
The lesser kind, to be clear.
You see the back of that jacket?
Whereas duplication casting entails recreating an exact facsimile of one's own body in its present circumstance, which acts as a true holographic mirror of its molecular structure.
Wow.
But you already knew that. Take a breath.
Tell him.
Noted. We're gonna break into two teams.
I love when he
including
comes off
myself
like that.
and
He's
Professor
super
Loki.
smart.
I love that.
He downplays it. That's another thing. It's like they disintegrate stuff. They cease to exist.
Yep. Like this. Yeah.
We need to look for C20.
But that's exactly what the variant wants you to do. It's a trap. He's waiting for you outside this tent. I have a new purpose. I'm a servant of the sacred timeline. Knowing what I now know about his tactics,
He's stalling.
I can. My ears are sharp too.
And everybody gets assassinated.
And it's like he's actually telling the truth for once.
Right? Well, we're gonna find out. You know what? That's pretty beautiful, for the exception that everything's getting disintegrated. Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing. Since she took C20, C20's head, can she now track what they reset?
Good point.
So keeping tabs on
Maybe.
how close they are to her.
Right.
The timekeepers are monitoring every aspect of this case. I've never seen them so involved. They want that variant caught.
So do I.
And this is the last chance you're gonna get with this
Timekeepers
Loki.
don't
Great. That's all I'm gonna need.
They're not even a thing.
Yeah.
She might be the thing.
Or yeah.
Right. Possibly. The way she talked about it was like they don't really exist.
Yeah.
I believed, stupidly, that insecure need for validation would motivate you to find the killer. Not because you care about the TVA mission or being a hero, but because you know this variant is better than you, and you can't take it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Beautiful. Set
Kind of
for
architecture. I love that. And
The irony is, and with one button, they could probably delete that all too.
yeah.
Pretend your life depends on it. I'm gonna get a
Oh man, the bands
They worked
between those two
really
are
well.
good.
Yeah.
They kind of counter each other really well. I like it.
Okay, I'd like all files pertaining to the beginning of time then,
Those are classified.
at the end of time.
Those are classified.
Okay, what files can I have?
Happy reading.
Destruction of Asgard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember Hela?
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, see. Wait. Hold on. Yeah. I think this is a different version. Zero variance
Variants
energy.
and detected means no one survived and jumped the timeline. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Was between Ragnarok and
Right. Yeah. Asgard isn't the place; it's the people. But this, no, the people died.
Destruction of Asgard and most of its people. I'm sorry.
Yes, very sad. Anyway, it got me thinking. Your salad is Asgard.
No.
In this scenario.
He's gonna.
Asgard. That's my lunch.
He's throwing it. He's throwing it.
Salad.
I can, no matter what I do.
No, don't do.
Oh.
There's the apocalypse.
That's
you
the
see it
apocalypse.
back at him
Ragnarok obliterates the salt.
because people wouldn't vote for you
Everything
there.
and everyone around you is destined for imminent destruction.
Right.
then nothing that I say,
Like you said earlier, a lot of bad things happen in that one area.
because the timeline's not going to branch.
Every moment of your entire life,
You've done
you've
that.
literally stabbed people in the back
Yep.
50 times.
Yep.
Thor.
I never do it
Colson.
again.
Yeah.
I love to be right.
That is. There you go. Is this Pompeo? Yeah. Yeah. Pompeo. Pompeo. All right. There you go. Jon Snow, what's up?
All right. Expect him to pop up and give her right on.
Wow. Now you see why they didn't pick Hiroshima. Oh.
How we do? I don't believe it. Zero variance energy, no branching in the timeline.
Here's the question: if you take something from that timeline that's being destroyed, does not in turn create a branch? Because you're taking something from that timeline.
It's like the Infinity Stones. You're taking those from timelines, but they don't exist anymore. Or that universe doesn't exist. There's not a timeline in which they exist anymore.
You and I, here at the TVA, we're the only ones who are actually free.
Because you're not technically tied to the timelines.
You're very clever.
Thank you.
I know.
Yeah.
So sometimes Loki's too smart.
There's left something behind at an old crime scene.
Krakatoa erupted in 2049 as well, no kablooey.
I'm gonna write that one down. Krakatoa.
Cyclone.
Would it work?
Hazen
Inside
Hills,
the TVA?
Alabama.
Hazen Hills, Alabama. By Roxcart. You see that Roxcart?
Wow. Okay. Now, if they put Khan from Thor, that would have been interesting. Unless there was a merger, yeah. Oh, I get it.
It's the supermarket.
It's the Walmart of, yeah.
What are you doing?
Shopping for plants.
In a hurricane?
In this storm.
Right.
Hurricane sale. Azaleas are half off.
Could that be you?
Want a suit, but yes, maybe.
That was good. That was a good little joke. Oh!
Yep. Jump from body.
Whoa!
You're the fool the TVA brought in to hunt me down.
Me, I presume.
Please. If anyone's anyone, you're me.
Yeah.
How nice to meet you. I'm going to overthrow the timekeepers.
There you go.
What did I tell you?
This dude looked like he's in Blockbuster.
Cards on the table. I could use a qualified lieutenant.
There you go.
You can call me
Randy.
Randy. God, now I understand why Paul found this so annoying. Listen, you know, your games. I've been trying to help you. I miss Randy.
Yeah. The craziest thing is I just went to a supermarket just really of that. Really?
Just to let you know how much this fight scene sucks. But I mean, Loki's getting chucked around like it's nothing. I'm like, where's your magic, homie?
I am a god.
That's so messed up.
That's just, it's like just cutting the signal out. Oh, there she is.
This isn't about you.
Huh. I was expecting black hair for some reason. That was
expecting very different.
right. Light it up like Christmas.
All right. That's a lot. And it's all being sent to the TV.
Right.
Where are they going?
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's his character.
Yeah, hold on. Now I gotta do homework. What? So there you have it, folks. That was the latest episode of Loki. I think, I believe this one was called Variant, actually.
Yeah.
See,
So many ways.
yeah, I think in this episode, we were essentially just introduced to a lot of different theories or just a lot of different talks. Like, I think it's something that I'm going to have to go back on again and listen, because in this particular recording, I had to turn down the volume so we could.
Some of the dialogue,
Right.
some of the
Didn't
audio
get-
was hard to hear.
Right.
And that made it really hard.
But I mean, it was a really good chance to kind of get that banter between Owen Wilson and Loki or
That's
Mobius.
really
and
good.
stuff. Yeah.
I'll say, for me, that's really good casting because the two characters are
They work really well off of each other. Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Yet
Totally.
so very similar. at the same time.
Yeah. But at the same time, you get a good understanding of what is going on in Mobius's head and where Loki kind of stands. It's like, Loki, as we kind of all suspected, he's not working for the TVA.
No,
he's
so
just, but not just that, he's trying to like possibly take down the TVA or at least get ahead of it, right?
Yeah, I think he's trying to find a way to survive because he's seen so many deaths, including his own, in a different time. He's like, I'm going to do whatever I can to avoid that outcome because I just don't.
And again, it's what you mentioned early on was like, look, he's supposed to be erased anyway, so how does he guarantee his safety at all? Like, what is he going to be doing? So it'll be interesting to see. Right?
We're done with you.
Right? Good job. Like that, right? It's an interesting situation. And we learned more about the Nexus events, and on top of that, redlining. I thought that was kind of interesting to see what happens when a time thing gets out of like. They don't just snip it. They got to make sure they really make it happen.
Yeah,
So,
because once it hits that red, it's
is it permanent? Yeah, I guess that's
I think it. I don't know if it's permanent or it's a permanent thing to where to change it would be too difficult.
Spawning more events like that. Yeah. It's kind of like a weed or something like that, or mold. It starts to spread. Yeah, it's just to spread. There's also the whole thing about the lesser unit versus that superior unit, like that. Let's talk about that for a second. The reveal of finally female Loki. I don't know why I was I was just expecting someone a female but with black hair for some reason. I think because
of him. And traditionally, he has darker hair. But I think it's also because they did. Was it a rebirth?
Right.
Or the Siege storyline. Or right before the Siege storyline, and had blonde hair.
Oh, really?
I might be mistaken.
I could have sworn it was black hair. Even the
I would say
short hair.
mostly black hair, but I may actually be getting her character mixed up with there's another.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm blanking out at the moment.
I'm pretty sure all of them have had black hair because there's even like there's the sexy female Loki, but then there's like the more like kind of punk rock-ish girl, but I'm pretty sure even she had like shaved sides and black hair. So I don't know why they went with that particular version, but maybe
to make it easier for the audience. This one is your Loki. This one is the other. This is your TV Loki.
Right. But see, personally, I thought if it made it black, it would have been like, I see. They do look similar like that. That's my thing. So,
but for me, I also look at it as because he's a variant. He's technically not supposed to be.
Exactly. Okay.
Fair enough. And since that one is also a variant, it's a variation of.
Okay.
The other Lokis.
I mean, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
it's 2 a.m.
I think I did that twice.
I guess with also the horns as well. That's a whole nother thing. Was it was showing that?
Yeah,
that was kind of cool. Like it was just one horn, like that.
And it's shorter, much shorter. So looking at it like, okay, is that their way of simplifying the version that have
Or cracked or
where
broken or something like that.
the horns are broken and potentially evil.
Right.
Because the old 616 Loki in the MCU was not such a good guy.
You know, there was a bunch of stuff that they were throwing out. I mean, I even took notes about the whole rings on the table thing with the coffee.
He's been there.
Oh
He's
my
been there
God.
for that conversation.
Right. So many times. Right. But no, I mean, like you said, I think this particular episode was so much more happened, but who knows?
Do you think Mobius is being reset and doesn't know it?
Mobius.
So, the was it almost character?
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm asking that is because of those rings.
Okay.
And because the type of conversation he has with him. Like, is he being reset? Because he's not supposed to know what's really going on, or not supposed to know what's going on after a certain point. So, once he gets too close to that, then you reset him.
And bring in another version of Mobius.
Hence the reason for those rings, because if you look at her,
Hence the
she's
reason.
really tight about everything.
You're right.
So why let that go?
Hence the reason they even had that conversation about Loki and Mobius even had that conversation like, what is the point?
Yeah, what's the point? Because you clean all this up, and once it's all clean, what happens? Because he already understands that it's like, you guys are going to do these, so I need insurance, but
why does
do
he
you got?
Yeah, right. Why do you have, the whole jet ski, all of that, that's wow. That would actually really suck if by the final episode, Owen Wilson or Mobius realizes that he's not even significant, that he's going to get reset.
Or maybe he already knows that, and that's why he's taking the job. Because by taking the job, he gets to live a little longer, exist a little longer, while within the construct of time.
You think he might be a variant too? That just worked his way in there?
I'm looking at it as like that would be an interesting twist if he's actually
A variant himself, yeah.
And it's like he's been there so long or reset so many times. That's why his friend says, why don't you just do like you always do? Why are you acting so different this time for this Loki? So it's like Loki already is a variant, and he's outside of all the stuff going on anyway. The TV Loki,
Right.
And then Owen Wilson basically acting out of character compared to his crew. It's like, what's going on? So you got maybe he's
I think it's
just a variant that was conditioned.
I think you're right about that, and I think it's very clear that the TVA is hiding something that we're not supposed to know about. Female Loki may not be the villain.
I don't think
she's not a straight
villain,
right? But I don't think she's either. She's not even either. She's not good either. But I think she is trying to do something.
She's trying to expose their law.
Correct.
Like, what if the timekeepers
don't really exist? Right.
Because in the comic books, there's two sets. So in one storytelling, you have them as their own show, and then they make a separate set which are supposed to take over, almost like the next generation,
right?
And from there, you end up having a good versions of them and a not so good versions of them. And maybe she came across the versions that she just didn't agree with. Like, you guys are, hypocrites, you're liars, and we should know.
Interesting that, and then she interrogated. Maybe that was why do the field cops know where the where the timekeepers are? But
in this case, it wasn't that she was trying to get information from the timekeepers. She was trying to get information from the base.
Okay.
And that's what she did.
But I could have sworn that the one girl that got captured said that she told them where to find the timekeepers. However, it's very possible that she is taking down the TVA first, and now that's exactly where she's going. Because remember, Loki's whole thing was like, well, Loki This whole thing was he wanted a meeting with the with the timekeepers. Anyways.
Yeah.
So maybe he may not know that's where he's headed, but that's probably where he's headed story-wise, because this entire episode he was just like, I just want a meeting with the timekeepers.
I just want to know what's going to happen.
So this is his best bet, anyways, to get that story going. Anyway, so okay.
That maybe he's figured out at least the base plan for the other Loki, and is just following along, letting her do all the things that she needs to, so he doesn't have to do anything. Well, I didn't do anything.
True. Because he knows. But Loki's clever enough to know, like, if he just stayed around and just was answering questions, like his best lead for any sort of freedom is just going. Because if anything, Mobius threatened him and was like, look, this is like your last chance.
Pretend like your life depends on this.
Because it does.
That's dark.
Well, we're just going to have to find out next week, guys. All right. Well, full reaction is available on Patreon. If you want to check out all of this side commentary, a shout outs to KR Presents for editing this video for you guys.
Thanks so much.
Yes, as it is 2 a.m., way past the time I normally watch Loki.
Yes.
For both of us. Yeah.
Both of us. It's one of those, like after I drive back home, I'm supposed to finish some design work, but I can tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Night.
I'm going to pass the fucking excuse me, and then I'm getting up in the morning, and we'll get to it.
I'm about to go back in time myself. Yes. All right, you guys make sure you check out DC Sun's page as well, his channel.
We'll eventually have some.
If you want to get some more up-to-date stuff, check out his Instagram. He once in a while posts something like that.
I'm on Instagram more often than anything else, just because it's easy to do it.
Just do a quick story or something like that.
I'm trying to use Twitter more often. I don't know. Twitter, it's fun to read, but like it doesn't feel as interactive. Like I'm just texting.
You could even do the YouTube stories or something like that, which is the same as YouTube has their own sort of stories that you can post. I posted my theories on the Lokiverse. Anyways, but stay tuned next week as I will be back in tune with you guys, and of course you can check me out on Twitch as well, as we finally have the PlayStation 5, and we will try to. You guys already know what I'm gonna play. It's Miles Morales. We're getting on it as soon as possible. I just need to get the money to buy it now. Till next time, guys. Take care. Peace.